It took me until about 48 years old. I have no more fear. There isn't anything that I can't do, and that I don't really care so much about other people's judgment of me. I just think about what makes me happy. I think that's really, really important. If those of us that are younger, don't think so much about what other people think of you, but just do things that makes you happy, you'll be a lot happier earlier in your life.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time to learn that as well. Welcome to Love, Listings, and Legacy, where love, community, and building a lasting impact meet. We are Mony and Sophaline, a husband and wife real estate team, sharing our perspectives on life, real estate, and philanthropy, our stories about resilience and service. Join us each week as we share our journey of life, business, and giving back, all while building a legacy for our family and community. This is Love, Listings, and Legacy, where hearts, homes, and philanthropy come together. Let's get started.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Love, Listings, and Legacy with Sophaline and
Mony.
All right, everyone. So this episode is actually going to be a milestone for us. This is going to be our last episode for 2024.
Wow.
How do you feel?
I feel amazing, I guess. We've done quite a few now, and we're just getting started. We're excited for, of course, this year, first of all, just to be able to get started. And then we're excited for what's to come next year and the year after, and the many, many years after. So.
Yeah. Well, in light of it being the end of the year, and, a lot of folks are preparing for the holidays and preparing for 2025, I thought we'd do a really fun episode today with my husband and actually maybe pick his brain a little bit about how he looks forward to the new year, maybe dig into some of how he does some goal setting, some planning, and let's see how Mony felt about 2024. So with no further ado, let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
All
Why not?
right. So 2024, let's do a year in review and let's focus on some highlights. So for Mony, what are some of your 2024 highlights?
I'll start on the business side. I think that we've sold a few more homes, better than 2023, of course, and we're looking forward to next year. I think we'll gather quite a few listings for next year, so I think I'm excited about that. But that's one. I sold a few more homes, and we're paying a bill, so thank you for your support.
Yeah, gotta get those bills paid.
Let me see. We got to spend more time with the family. I think the boys are at the house, and our family members, and Monita, our niece who's international student, staying with us, and just being able to spend a little more time with that. And then, of course, some of the highlights include the engagement of Ryan and Sabrina.
Yeah.
We did a engagement sort of party after the engagement at the beach, Half Moon Bay Beach, and then after that, we had a little gathering, and then we just did our final gathering at the house where 60 and 70 of our family and their close friends came and support them as an engagement party at the house, and we partied from like 3 o'clock until midnight. So
that was fun.
That was fun. It's a lot of work.
I felt young again.
That was fun. Yeah, I know. I felt old because man, these folks are young, and I'm like, wow, okay. But anyhow, I was hanging with them, so
it was funny.
cool.
We should share with everyone that Mony. This is how we know when we've aged, right, honey? Right. Is when I think it was like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and we were like,
I'm tired.
Man, we're tired.
Yeah, I'm ready for bed.
And all the young adults, of course, were still having a good time, and we're really happy that they enjoyed themselves. But that's how when we know we're old. And
maybe I should have smoked a little pot with them, so I think that would have helped. But
now,
yeah.
Well, it is legal in California.
Yeah.
So,
how about you? Anything that comes to mind when it comes to 2024?
Yeah, I think you hit on most of the pivotal moments in 2024 that I look back on. And I think definitely I felt like our real estate business really kicked off like in June. So I felt like the first half of the year was a little bit of a lull, as you know, and it gave us a chance to really just kind of maybe prepare some things. But I felt like, oh my God, like after we came back from Sabai Fest in Southern California, remember it was like Father's Day weekend. I think we came home and we were like nonstop, right?
Yep, we were putting a home on the market once a week. It's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
which was a blessing. And that's something that we can share later on in our segment here, just about 2025 and some of the goals we have, and maybe share with some of you as well on, how you can set those goals as well. I think adding to what you said about family, I felt really happy with how our family life was really integrated this year. I think, obviously our niece from Cambodia was her very first year being in the United States, being away from her parents and her brother, and, just being home in Cambodia. I think she got fully integrated, and it was really nice that Andrew and Ryan really embraced her and really, brought her into the family. I think that was really nice. And I really enjoyed spending a lot of time with Andrew and Ryan, and of course our future daughter-in-law, Sabrina, and just really getting to know them a lot more. And then also Caden, of course, our 5-year-old grandson, Caden, can't forget the little guy. And then it was really nice that my side of the family got to spend a bit more time with Andrew and Ryan and Sabrina. And, we're a blended family. And I think that was one thing that I really look back and appreciated. And I think for me, I was really happy to finally get to meet Andrew and Ryan's mom. I know you both, went your separate ways, probably 2 decades ago.
I haven't seen her in years.
Yeah,
so it's good that she came by the house.
It was really nice, honey. Actually, honestly, like as your wife, it was really nice for me to meet the mother of your children, because now I see full picture of like Andrew and Ryan and you, and then their mom, and she was really sweet. And
You mean why the boys are so crazy?
No, I think, I think she was really kind, and I think she was very sweet. And I think, I really appreciated her acknowledging, and she actually thanked me for, loving her sons, your sons. And I said to her, absolutely, as their, stepmother, all I could do is give them love and guidance. And then the one thing that left me laughing, and I told Andrew and Ryan, I said, yeah, your mom said she gave me permission to like check you guys. And she's like, yeah, check them when they need to be checked, and I just, I laughed, and I just told her that, they're adults. I don't need to check them like little kids, but it is important to have, they need that guidance even as young adults. But all I have to say with that is that I feel very honored and privileged, and it's nice that I get to be another person in Andrew and Ryan's life that they can come to. Not you or mom, but they have me as well that they can come to.
Well, first of all, thank you, and I think you do a good job with that, and including teaching me a few things as well about family. So I appreciate that, and it's not easy for me because I'm so used to doing so many things differently. But now that we have you, and it's all come together so slowly, I'm adjusting, and it's been good. My greatest highlight, of course, would be just the spending time with every time we see Caden and our boys. But to be able to spend time with Caden, he's 5 years old. He's grown so much. I'm first-time grandpa, and and he's just such a personality, and just so smart. He's reading. He's in the kindergarten, but he's reading a second, probably third grade level already. He's a strong reader. He's such a strong reader. And just to be able to have a conversation with him like an adult is pretty cool. And then I think one of the greatest highlight of my this year would be also I've joined Rotary. In January I went back to Rotary. And as a result, I've gotten a few members already that came in, not only in diverse in ideas, but also in people, who they are in the community, in the national community. And then as a result, I got elected to be their president in 2026.
Yay,
so
congrats.
I can't wait, because that actually makes me happiest is when I get a chance to serve on a local level, on an international level. So I'll talk about what that is in a minute on what I'm doing.
That's cool. Well, I mean, I think we had a lot of 2024 milestones. I think for me, just our vacation down south, I think being a part of Sabai D Fest and seeing Vanda and Vantan perform live here in the U.S., I think that was a pivotal moment for us. We also had our Caring for Cambodia Gala, which raised funds to support education in Siem Reap. I mean, I feel like 2024 was
I forgot about that. Yeah,
so busy, but
Yeah.
when we look at the milestones, right? Like just the projects that we've accomplished, I feel like we got a lot done.
Yeah, that's $130,000 for Caring for Cambodia. And as a result, of course, I joined the board with Caring for Cambodia as well, and their director of development on the fundraising side, giving support and advice and and guidance to our leadership team for caring for Cambodia and how to fundraise and campaigns and all that. Just get to and then to meet all the board members from all over across the world is pretty cool too. So yeah, amazing.
Well, you know what? I mean, I feel like we should also share with our audience as well, you know, along with the highlights and the accomplishments. You know, were there any challenges that you felt you got through in 2024? Either challenges or lessons learned that you could share?
Biggest thing that come to mind is obviously keep surrounding. I mean, sometimes things get difficult through transaction, whatnot on the business side.
Oh, on the business side,
Yeah,
right.
but just surround yourself with amazing people. Continue to have a tradition of doing something. For example, on Sunday, my buddy and I, Eric, we walk 6 to 8 miles every Sunday morning from 8:30 to 10 o'clock, whatever. But it takes an hour and a half, 2 hours just to get that. But that keep me grounded, and then I just know that this is the place I'm going to go. This is the place I'm going to be every Sunday. Grab a cup of coffee, Pete's Coffee, and we walk throughout downtown, through our city, and we walk 6 to 8 miles. And that's a long walk, but that is something that is stable, that is good, that's positive for me. No matter how difficult transaction get, or no matter what may come up in the families, whatnot, that really help me think and reflect all the time during the time that I do that. So. Anything else? What about you? Any?
Well, yeah, I think every day there's challenges, right? I think obviously as we are in real estate, there's just things that comes up. But for me, I feel like there's nothing that we can't resolve. There's nothing that can't be handled. I always remind you and other realtors every time I talk to you, you know, at the end of the day, there are stressful situations and emotions can be high, but just remind ourselves that at the end of the day, you know, we're not cardiac heart surgeons. We're not operating on someone's life. Yes, you know, something can be impacted, obviously, but you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, we're not handling someone's life like our first responders and doctors and nurses and whatnot. So we just have to do the best that we can and communicate. And I think one of the other challenges I think was, for me personally, was really finding my space. And what I mean by that is finding a space where I could be authentically me. And I think that's why launching this podcast was really pivotal in that, because I really wanted to build a platform where I can share with the world, not necessarily sing our accolades, but also share our challenges, our struggles, our failures. You know, I think people really can learn a lot from that. And I really want our podcast to be a platform for inspiration, for empowerment, and for people to really come to and feel like, wow, Mony and Sophaline go through the same things we do. They have the same struggles. So,
and speaking of struggles, I thought that, you know, you've always, in my opinion, took like 1 foot in, 1 foot out in real estate. But I think that this is your second year doing it. And there's a couple of things that I'm very, very proud of that you're doing. One was just stepping out and doing something that is not normal, not because it's such a new industry for you, from the tech to real estate. And also, real estate is about relationship. But one of the two things that you did this year was to join the Women Council's Realtor of Alameda. And on the leadership side, you know, being their event coordinator and going through their board meeting, you know, seeing the challenges on the board from the get-go, but meeting all the new leadership team and looking and setting clear goals and vision for 2025 and beyond. I think that's really important. And now you get to see the strength of the realtors and the professionalism and also the depth and breadth and the value you're going to bring to the organization, in addition to seeing the strength of the organization, a lot of great leaders in the industry. The second thing that you did, I thought that was really powerful, was that you joined the Livermore Leadership Program. You know, that's a 9-month program, 1 day a month, all day, 9 to 5, and you get to see big businesses and the schools but as important as the relationship of people in Livermore, it goes back not just first and second generation, but we're talking about 4, 5, 6 generation at times. So this deep relationship and how to understand that, and also how to utilize that information to maneuver that within the business itself. I think that's really important, you know, that if you think about doing business, you have to understand the nuances and the culture that the city, wherever you are at, that provides, and then how to maneuver within that. So
Well, thank you for that, honey. I really thank you for your support as well. I think it's important that when you dive into a new career or a new profession, that you really surround yourself with successful people. And again, it goes back to, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I think for us, being a husband and wife team, obviously we see a lot of each other, which is great, but also it prevents us from being out there meeting people with diverse ideas, different experiences. And so for me, I think again, segueing into 2025 is I really want to expand my sphere in terms of just the different levels of leadership. And I think you brought up a really great point. Joining Women's Council of Realtors of Alameda County, I think really allowed me to take on a leadership role as well as be with other local real estate leaders who are women.
And very professional.
And have held positions of leadership. As women, we can empathize with each other in different ways that maybe men necessarily can't. And that's just, something that I've found to be very empowering for me, especially because we do have different struggles. So as women together in this profession, we can uplift and empower each other. Although there are always challenges in a leadership position because you do have to make difficult decisions. You do have to stand your ground and you do have to deliver value. And that's one of the things that I'm most excited about to be the events director on the governing board is that, how can these events in 2025 really drive value for the members? It goes back to the members, being a part of the Women's Council of Realtors, there are membership dues, annually. And so we want to make sure that that hard-earned dollar that every member contributes comes back. There is an ROI. And so that is my objective for this year. It's not about, you could throw fun events. Obviously, fun is great, right, honey? As we know, we do a lot of events for our clients. But I really want to make sure that these events are intentional and that they really, truly drive value for our members.
Absolutely. Without the depth and breadth and value you bring to the people that you're leading, they're not going to stick by you. Everybody have limited amount of time per day, and they want to make sure that, hey, if they're going to go do something or be a part of something,
absolutely,
that there's got to be a value to why they're doing it, why they're supporting you. But I think that I've always believed that everything rises and falls on leadership.
And it does.
So when you have great leaders, they have their own entourage that's going to come support those leaders. I think is really, really important. So I won't get involved in anything unless it has great leadership already. Because as I get older, I think about the average age of death in this area is about 80 years old. So now that I'm 50 plus 2, I have about 28 years left.
Our time is precious.
Yeah, our time is really, really precious. If that's the case, I'm going to do things that are just going to be fun. And speaking of which, there's a couple of things that I'm doing this year that's coming up in 2025 that I really want to take a look at. One is that you sent me a podcast recently about the mind. And one of the things that we talked about that I viewed on this podcast is on the mind, on the money. So I'm going to do an affirmation about money, but in a way that it's not just about money, but that I have a gift to share with others and that I could do so much more with money and wealth that I'm going to change so much more lives. And
that's beautiful.
That actually makes me happiest to do that anyways. But imagine if I could be tenfold in my giving. I think that what makes me happy even more. And then the second thing is that I think you may learn from this as well, is that this year, one of my biggest focuses going to be on just think about the rock and sand in a jar.
Right.
Meaning that I'm going to focus on the big rocks, but only add sand to it when there's room for the sand. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Meaning that I'm just going to focus on what makes me happy, what makes us, get the funds to pay our bills, but also focus just on the things that makes me happy. And then only add the sand when I need to, but just focus on the big things that's important, from family to business to the community. Really, that's what it comes down to. But I want to stick to people that supports me and loves me and cares about me and makes me happy. So anyhow, like for example, the President's Scholars Program, this morning I just met with one of the students. She's 19 years old.
Wow.
And she talks like a 39-year-old. Oh my gosh.
Very mature, huh?
Very, very mature, very thoughtful. I gave her books to read. She's already read them, like the How to Make Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
She gave me what she learned from it. She talks about her future, what she's looking forward to do, what her fears and concerns are. We just had a 2-hour meeting this morning.
That's beautiful.
So anyhow, that's what I look forward to this coming new year. So what about you?
Well, I think for 2025, one of the things that I want to really focus on is really truly building our platform, this podcast, right? So we're going on the first season, and just to be very honest, that it's a lot of work. So for those of you who are considering starting a podcast, let me know. I can give you the behind the scenes. But no, truly, it's so fulfilling. It's so rewarding when I see our episodes published on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube, on our social media.
Episode 8 now?
This is episode 8, season 1. And I am just so happy to do it because I think this was something that was truly a desire that I had, and that I just never was able to get it off the ground. So, honey, I want to thank you for your support, really. We need resources to be able to run a podcast. We need equipment, cameras, lighting. Like right now, all this equipment that we're using,
post-production
audio,
team. Mm-hmm.
We need a post-production team. And so Abby and the team have been so instrumental. Our editors, we are so grateful because we would not be able to do this without their support. But also going back to what you said, you have to have investments, you have to have financial resources, all this stuff. There is a dollar amount tied to it. And I don't know where this is going to go, but I feel it in my heart that this is what you and I need to be doing. And whether or not we impact one person or we impact 10 people, to me, that is the legacy that I want to leave behind.
Well, first of all, it's about getting started, right? Because, for me, if you're going to say something, have a plan, but when are you going to start? You got to put a date to it. The fact that we put a date to it and you got started, there's a lot of work behind the scene, and I thank you for doing that. You're doing a fabulous job. I have nothing to do with that. But
you just show up and look pretty.
I just show up and look pretty half the time. And but the fact that you get started, and who knows what's going to go, but anytime. But I think the best part, there's more important things than that. Getting a platform is one thing, but be able to share your own story before someone else sharing your story is probably more important than anything else we can do in this platform.
It's very courageous as well. It's having the courage to put yourself out there and not fear judgment. And I think going back to your question, like one of the things that I want to leave behind in 2024 is really like that mindset of like people pleasing and trying to fit into someone's box and like, oh my God, what if they don't like me? What if they don't accept me? What if they don't approve me? I feel like as we're adults now, I mean, I'm 44, and when you get to this part in your life, when you have the rest, just half of your life left to live, right? You don't want to live your life based on worrying about what other people are going to say or they're going to judge. And also one of the other things was like playing it small. Like I've been listening to a lot of self-development podcasts.
Absolutely.
And I love sharing podcasts with you. Any episodes that I found to be, oh my God, like life shattering, like, oh my gosh, like this is going to change my life, honey. I love sharing it with you, but playing it small. Nobody got successful from playing it small.
But they have to start small. They have to start somewhere.
You can start small. And also one of the other things is like perfection. You don't want to put something out there because, it doesn't have the right like production value, or like, it's not highly produced. Forget it. People who are out there doing big things, like they don't have high production value, right? Mm-mm. So getting out of my own mind, getting out of my own fears, getting out of my own insecurities, I think is something that I'm going to work for 2025.
I want to add to that. It took me until about 48 years old. See, you're 44 now. I'm 52. But it took me about until 48 years old to say what I'm about to say now, is that I'm a little bit different from you, that I have no more fear. There isn't anything that I can't do, and that I don't really care so much about other people's judgment of me. And as long as I live my life authentically, meaning that
be authentic.
What am I doing? How am I helping people? How am I helping the community to make them better, make other people better, make other students better, and how do I engage them in a way that I could help them get them a grant, or help them, refer them to someone who could get them a job? Those type of things, the little things like that. That's what makes me happy. So I don't think about other people's judgment. I just
Yeah.
think about what makes me happy. I think that's really, really important. If those of us that are younger, don't think so much about what other people think of you, but just do things that makes you
Yeah.
happy, you'll be a lot happier earlier in your life.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time to learn that as well.
Absolutely. I guess what are some points of like, I guess what I want to say is like, as people are looking to build their goals for 2025, what have you found to be some great tactics that you've applied to yourself? Maybe there's some systems or processes and like goal setting that you use, either, for our business or personally. Can you share that with our audience?
Yeah, for me, the biggest thing is that, map it out in two ways. One is when I think of a project, I map it out in my head already. And then it's weird. My mind works in mysterious ways, but I start mapping everything, like all the things that needs to be done. And I think about the positive and the negative. Okay, so not only an itemized list of all the things that need to be done in my head, and then once I do that several times, then I start putting it on paper. Then what needs to be done? For example, I'll give an example. One of my projects I'm looking forward to is to build a innovation hub or tech hub in Cambodia, Siem Reap, Cambodia. This could be a Rotary global project, $300,000 to $400,000 worth. But remember, $300,000 to $400,000 in the developed country, that's a lot of money. It's like $1.5 million here. But to be able to build something like that in Cambodia to help to go under the economic development grant for Rotary International, and to be able to get something like that done and truly begin to change the lives of the people, that's what I'm looking forward to, because it's impacting other people's lives to make a difference. And it's also part of the legacy that you leave, because I'm like, wow, our Rotary Club has never done anything like this before. But if I'm able to do something like this that's meaningful, not just for me, but meaningful for our club, maybe they could come one of these days, take a trip to Cambodia as a group and then get to see their project in real live way. Can you imagine? And the impact it's making to the community in Siem Reap, Cambodia? That would be extraordinary. So I think about that. I'm like, okay, what other partnership do I need? For example, I have someone, a founder of a nonprofit organization, is going to be flying out there on the 19th and meeting the president of Rotary Club there to hopefully do an ask for me to be the sponsor of our project here. Oh my gosh, if that thing comes about, then I can start the global grant and get this thing done.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's the way I think about it. I map it on my head first. I think about it. Then I always have my phone next to me. I start typing it in. And then the third thing is I start ChatGPTing it, like the step process.
Yeah.
And then the fourth thing is actually writing it down on paper. Like this is all
pen to paper.
Go, these are step
powerful.
1, step 2, step 3. But look at the magnitude and the priority of the list, then you can get it done. But if you just kind of all over the place and write it down and never prioritize it, like 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can't get it done. I know exactly what I'm going to do in order to get this done and who I need to connect with. So now I'm working on connecting with the local grant reviewers in this area, in the Bay Area here, so they could help me get started. So I have 2-3 people on that I'm going to be calling in January already. So.
Wow. Sounds like you've got a big project in 2025 and we can't wait to hear more about it. I think, one of the systems that I use that I've been really trying to adopt, and I reread the 12-week year was such a pivotal book for me because it allowed me to restructure my goal setting. And for those of you who are more curious about it, grab the book, but basically it changes your mind into thinking about the year in 12 weeks. And so you could take on big goals in smaller chunks so that they're more bite-sized. And so now instead of thinking, oh my God, I got to accomplish this in 12 months, now you just say, okay, for the next 12 weeks, what am I going to do? And you focus on 2 or 3 goals max. And you basically break it up into smaller goals. And then at the end of the 12 weeks, you pause, you reflect, you look back. Okay, what were some things I could have done better? Where did I fail? And then you reset the year and you do it another 12 weeks. And so for me, honey, I'm really excited to implement the 12-week year. And so I've got my 3 goals and buckets of like business, personal, and family, right? Whether that's like, hey, we're going to do Sunday dinners with the kids, or hey, we're going to go visit dad in Long Beach, once a quarter. Those are goals. And I guess the one thing I have to share with everybody is that, you have to set those intentional goals. And what Mony was saying is so powerful. It's like that power of like pen to paper, because our mind works so incredibly powerful in that way. And that's why having a journal, one of the apps I haven't showed you yet, honey, but one of the apps that I got started using and I love is called Notion. Notion is this amazing platform of like journaling, and you could do content calendar, you could do podcast production, you could do goal setting. It's just this amazing platform. And I actually learned about Notion through some other YouTubers. And it's a great technology platform. Yeah.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, good. I think that's good. I'm glad you're doing that, reading all those books and then putting it, reading is one thing, but actually putting the practical.
Yeah, the
like everything I do is very practical. For example, here's my simple goals for this coming year.
Share with us.
For us to sell 25 to 30 homes. And we usually do that anyways, but to be consistent, and then, not to say that we don't want to sell more, but 25 to 30 homes allow us a balance between making enough money to pay our bills, have a little extra to travel, and also to give back to the community, but also gives us time to hire other people to help us and also give us time to be with our family members. I think that's really, really important. So the second thing is about the Rotary Global Project. Love to see that Rotary Global Project I just mentioned to come to fruition this year. That'd be amazing. That'd be a highlight of my life and highlight of my year this year. Third is to travel more. If there's, I see you going to Indian Wells. I might end up going to SoFi Stadium in January. Mm-hmm. Might end up going to DC. So there's more travel plans for us. It could be Cambodia as well this mid-year, who knows? But to travel more. And then now I'm starting to think about, being the president of Rotary Club in 2026. Right now we have about 50 plus members. Can I get it to 70, 80, right? It's not easy to get Rotarians, but to be able to go, hey, can I get to 75, 80? That'd be amazing, right? But what is the legacy going to be like for that during my 1 year? What is it that we want to be known for? What is it that I want? How do I set the leadership, the tone for our success, but also more as important as the succession planning? Who's going to be the next leaders after me? Who can I gather? Who can I bring to the table to say, hey, I think you should be the next president in 2027? I'm already working on that in my head.
That's great.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Well, it sounds like we have our plans for 2025 set. And, I think, again, I'm just really thankful for this opportunity to just, be the best person that you could be. And I think that's, hopefully there's one key takeaway that I want to share with everyone today is that, live your best life, and whatever that may be, you define success, you define happiness, and it doesn't happen without intentionally setting up a plan, having tactics, implementing that, and being very intentional. So as we wrap up our final episode, this is the final episode of 2024 for Love, Listings, and Legacy.
Yeah.
What are some words that you want to share with our audience?
For me, what comes to mind is, just continue to be very, very grateful for what you have, right? So I think I have it on the back of a note card. I don't have it with me, but it's something to the effect of Oprah said that if you focus what you don't have, you always have less. But if you focus on what you have, you always have more. Something to that effect. I don't have the exact quote. But, what that means to me is that that it's about being grateful for what you have now, being a presence of what you have now. And then also doing things that make you happy. Stay around positive people. Remember, misery loves company. There's a reason why. It's because misery, they want to gather everybody else into the misery. We don't want that. I want to stay people that I could share ideas with, not spend the time to talk about others. I don't have time for that. I really don't. Mm-hmm. Everyone that I come across that I sit down with me, we talk about ideas. What's next? What's exciting? What are you looking forward to? How do we expand something that that is so small to being so big. Like, for example, I love talking, one of my favorite people to talk to, and we just run into each other, or I just stop by his office, is Rich Goldstein. He's a wealth advisor. He's been doing it since almost 40 years. But one of his most passionate things he's working on is right now is called Compassion Program. And they bring it to the Rotary, and it's going to go national. This is why I might end up in SoFi Stadium, because I'm one of his biggest supporters, right? Connecting him locally here to help expand the program nationwide. I get to be a part of that. And he is so excited. The guy is 69 or 70 years old, but he's so excited about life. And the reason why is because it's not just about money. He makes good money, but he loves giving back and leaving that legacy for himself to keep him going. Between me and him, I think we're going to live to 150 years each, possibly.
Sounds like it.
Because we're just so happy about what we do and how we do it, how we help people, how we serve in the community, locally and internationally. That's what we get to look forward to. And I hope that people will think about that for themselves as well. So.
Awesome. Wow. So beautifully put. Thank you.
How about you?
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
All right. My final words for all of you. 2024, no matter if you had a really difficult challenge in your life, times of sadness, grief, struggle, just know that the struggle is there to make you stronger, and that none of us can grow without difficulty. And as long as you have faith and resilience and you have a sense of self and who you are going to be just fine. And I think in 2025, just really look at how you can grow. How can you get out of your comfort zone? How can you be the best version of yourself? And that could be the best realtor, the best father, the best friend, right? The best, community member, board member, whatever it is. I think that's something that I want everyone to kind of take into 2025 and just, live it up and don't fear anything. And, you know what? If you mess up, there's always chances to make things better. And my final thought is that perfection is the enemy of progress, and that, you can't have everything be perfect. And the main thing is that you get started. So with that said, I just want to wish everyone an amazing holiday season with your loved ones. And no matter where you are or what you're doing, enjoy this time together, pause and reflect. And Mony and I will be back in 2025.
Okay, well, one last word is love starts with you, within you. It has to be within here. You can't go out there and love other things without loving yourself. So start within you. I love myself. I invest a lot of money into myself. I do a lot of things for myself, because without me, there's and nothing else exists, really. And then the second part is that I just want to wish everyone an amazing Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your friendship. And, if there's anything that we can do to help you, please reach out. Please message us. Please phone us. I love phone conversations, so you can call me at any time. So thank you for your support. Thank
you. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to our Love Listings and Legacy YouTube channel. Woohoo! And also on Apple and Spotify, give us a review, because if you review us on the podcast platforms, it enables our podcast to go to others, and they can also learn a little bit from us. So thank you all so much, and we'll see you in 2025. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
You.
Thank you for joining Love, Listings, and Legacy this week. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you haven't yet, go to Apple Podcasts and Spotify to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. Join us next time as we continue to navigate the path from adversity to success, one property and one purpose-driven decision at a time. Thanks for listening.